Who knows what lies out there beneath the surface?
Mama, I'm depending on you. Tell me the truth.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the LuckyDog podcast. This is your host, Elias Roush, and
Kelly.
Today we are coming at you with our first take, full 7-hour marathon, Big Little Lies.
We loved it.
Okay, well, okay.
I did.
Okay. We'll start. I guess we'll just jump into the first impressions. First impressions, Kelly, coming out of Big Little Lies.
First impressions. I liked it.
As a complete series.
Yeah. I liked the whole thing. I don't know that there was an episode that I didn't like. I know there was one that you said was kind of, I don't remember.
I call it soggy.
Something.
I call it soggy because it seems like they're just pulling the plot out, holding it out,
Yeah.
unnecessarily.
Like making it drag out a little bit?
Okay, yes. Maybe one or two. I'd say one episode could have been cut. But other than that, it was a solid...
I didn't think... I was shocked at the end when there was only 7.
Whoa.
What?
No spoilers yet.
That's not a spoiler.
Oh, okay. We'll do a spoiler bumper, too.
I was shocked that there was not more.
Mm-hmm.
And that I wanted to keep watching.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, we actually got snowed in and decided, we wanted to start a new series. So we found Big Little Lies, and we're like, we'll watch it, a couple episodes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it was my idea. I'd heard good things about it, critically acclaimed and whatnot. So the show, it has a lot of great things going for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the acting, the way the cinematography, the soundtrack, the editing, I think all of those are on point.
Mm-hmm. You would be the one to have to judge them because I would have no idea.
Yeah, I would just say, coming off of it, watching it as a full 7-hour series, I did want more. Like I was, we watched all 7 episodes pretty much back to back to back.
Yeah.
And I was ready for another one.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, like the next day.
Yeah.
So, hold on. I'm catching up.
You can hear it.
Yeah, I'll just edit this out. We'll do a spoiler bumper real quick so that we can start.
We don't have to do spoilers.
I want to talk about spoilers.
Okay. I'm so quick to jump into telling the whole thing.
Yeah, it's real easy to.
Are we gonna wait until she?
Yeah, until the garage goes down. First impressions.
Come on, Elaine.
What are you doing?
Taking sweet ass time.
Sweet ass time.
Okay. Back to what we were saying.
Okay, so what was I saying? I think. Sorry. The bumped into the good things going for it. It looks great. It sounds great. It's the editing's really I'd say on edge. Like it keeps you engaged.
Yeah.
The actors are obviously top-notch performance. You have movie stars in this. You have Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, Cheyenne Woodley. If you want to start putting her name up there.
I haven't. I've never seen. Are they in other series?
Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have been. I don't know too much of their background.
I've not heard of any. They have.
Like a mini series or anything like that.
What's the guy's name?
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott, yeah. He's in... What's he in? He's in Parks and Recreation.
He's in Parks and Rec. I've seen him in Party Down. I believe that's a...
Was he in The Office?
I don't think he might have been maybe in a guest episode of The Office or something. I get it confused with Parks and Rec. But he was once again, he's top-notch performer, up there with all the lead female cast members. All phenomenal, including the kids.
What was the one lady you mentioned? Witherspoon. Her.
Oh, Laura Dern.
Yeah.
Laura Dern. Yeah, she was great too.
I liked her.
Yeah. I think. I'll get back to my thoughts on Laura Dern and her character a little bit later. But let's continue with the things that you didn't think were so hot about it. Coming, fresh off of it.
Like who I didn't like, or
just things about the series as a whole.
I don't know. I didn't dislike any of it.
You didn't dislike any, so you like generally.
I didn't like that. What's his face was abusive.
Okay, so don't get too spoiler, but yeah, there's abusive husbands and
I just
men
don't break it
and
down
stuff.
like you do and find things that I do or don't like the way that you do.
Well, I understand that, and you look at it from more of a general audience point of view. I would say, if I had to pinpoint a specific angle,
What? Oh, I can hear that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a
Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, the essential plot, I thought it was a little bit predictable. I kind of felt where things were leading pretty soon.
Yeah. It was always very easy to tell what was about to happen next.
The first episode, we'll start breaking it down by a spoiler section now.
Okay.
For the first episode, what were your initial thoughts jumping into it and finishing it as a whole? Did you were you immediately grasped by it? Were you like, these are characters I want to start following and everything like that, or what popped out about it?
I would say so. I liked the first interaction between Witherspoon and you keep saying this girl's name, but I don't know her name.
Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Woodley.
Because it was just two completely, for me, I could tell that it was just going to be two completely different characters, and I don't know how Reese Witherspoon gets away with, bringing her in, making her a friend, when all these other women are just no, it's not happening. But she did it anyway.
Right. Well, I thought Reese Witherspoon did a pretty good job. I had mixed feelings about her initially, but then she really grew on me, just kind of how vulgar she was.
Yeah. I thought from the first episode, I thought she was the one that died.
Yeah, so going along with the first episode, I thought the way they were editing it and the way they were playing it, they were still playing it like, who's dead?
Yeah.
And
well, like you said, the title gives it away.
Well, I thought
the title being what it is, and then us not finding out at the end is what made me want to. That's the first thing that made me want to keep watching.
Yeah, I've never. Initially, I thought the title was a spoiler, but it's actually the premise, and it's like, hold on, someone's dead.
Yeah.
And you need to pay attention. And the way it's kind of laid out is like a murder mystery. Who is dead?
Yeah.
And since there's a spoiler section now, we obviously know that it's Skarsgård at this point. Do you like that they strung it out for the entire series?
I do, but then again, I guess I'm trying to think. There was a moment where I thought it was unnecessary for him and Kidman. Ain't that her name?
Nicole Kidman.
What was it? The part where she is walking out and he's like, "Where are you going?" And she's just blatantly lying. Just walks out of the door. I think she tells him where she's going, but I don't remember where she's going. She's going to her new apartment. And the next time she comes in, and then he sees the messages from someone that lets him know that she has the apartment. I wish that they would have dragged that out a little bit longer.
So
I wish she actually could have made it getting her and her kids into that apartment before him finding out and flipping out the way that he did.
So you're already talking about episode 7, but yeah, I do feel the way they jump into the beginning of the series. Mm-hmm. They have it as if like we're gonna find out at the end of this episode or the end of the second episode who died and who's done it. You know, they it's from a first person perspective. You know, like you think you're gonna turn around and see Reese Witherspoon or Nicole Kidman's face. They would have done it in the first episode, and you would have they string it out the entire series.
Yeah, because it turns out who killed him was not who I expected at all.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, she's not even on the main title. I need to rewind the title again, but I don't think Zoe Kravitz is even listed because she doesn't go along in the circle of everyone during the main sequence, the main title sequence. You know. So I thought it was kind of a diversion.
Yeah. To
have her kill Skarsgård. But yeah.
All of the women except for her throughout the whole what is it? Series are all of them are referencing killing someone. At some point, every one of those women except for her have said something about I'm going to kill her or I'm going to kill him.
Oh yeah. And she kind of was the last person you would have thought that would have done it. Mm-hmm. And so what do you think about that?
About what?
What do you think about Zoe Kravitz being the one?
I think it took her completely out of her character, like the character I thought she was the whole series. Because she's like this peacekeeper, like people shouldn't argue.
Oh yeah.
This and that, and then all of a sudden that comes out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't know if I like that part. That might be the part that I don't agree with.
So you don't think that Zoe Kravitz should killed
no.
Skarsgård? Who would have been? It
should have been one of the women that he was abusing.
I thought it should have been. I thought it would have been a more emotionally satisfying resolution if it was Shailene Woodley.
Yeah. The way she kept visualizing herself killing him.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I wanted him to die.
And even the way they market the show, they were always showing guns, gun hands, and Skarsgård was always calling himself a monster and going around doing gun hands,
doing the pew pew thing to his kids, being funny.
Pew pew.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was not abusive to his children. Just put that out there.
Well, I disagree.
In what way do you think he was abusive?
He was setting an example. He was setting an example that was okay.
Yeah.
You think so?
I thought he was doing a pretty good job of making sure the kids didn't see it, but apparently not.
No. Well, yeah. The way they filmed it, I thought the kids were never in the area, and the mother was, Nicole Kidman was kind of always hiding it and stuff like that.
And she was very adamant about telling that shrink that he never was abusive to the children, or that the children never saw any of it.
Yeah, which is probably what a lot of situations entail. Mm-hmm. But I don't have any experience in talking about that side of relationships or anything like that. But it's got to be difficult situations on both ends. What do you think about the side characters, like Adam Scott and Zoe Kravitz and Nathan was Reese Witherspoon's ex-husband. Mm-hmm.
What's his real name?
James Tupper.
I didn't like him.
Oh, you didn't like him?
Nope. I didn't like him at all. I don't know why, but I didn't.
Was it his acting, the writing, what he had to say, or?
Yeah, he was just like a typical douchebag.
Well, you see, I thought off the first interaction with Adam Scott, I thought Adam Scott was in the wrong.
When he came up on his bike?
When he came up on his bike, I felt that Nathan was trying to make peace, and Adam Scott was taking it in a very different manner.
But then again,
more aggressive.
I kind of agree with Adam Scott's way of thinking. Like, Nathan was pretty much trying to tell him to, like, hey, get control of your wife, and it's like, my wife would be under control if you hadn't done this. Mm-hmm. Pretty much is what he's saying.
Right. I also, I think they're both on the wrong, both Reese Witherspoon and Nathan. Nathan he's trolling all in her.
It's been 15 years since they separated. What the hell? I don't know anyone. I personally have never met anyone who would drag that out that long. That's a long time to be bitter with somebody. To be remarried and your children grown and you're still acting the way she acts in this.
Right. And I could definitely tell that she was a little bit jealous. And
she's very bitter.
Yeah. And like I said, going along with the predictability, I could already tell that she was I didn't know who was having an affair with the play guy. Mm-hmm. But you knew someone was. I was like, this guy's getting something.
I kind of assumed it was her because the first time we see him, it's with her.
Yeah, it would make sense because...
she's not directing this play. She's not really doing anything, like, to help... I guess I would say, like, put money into it. But she's just trying to make sure it doesn't get canceled.
Right. I guess it was more of an emotional investment because of him. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I thought... I knew off the bat that guy was getting with someone.
I kind of assumed it was her. Just because the first scene we see him in, she's in it. Mm-hmm. And then every scene after that, every time she walks into this play, I kept thinking, why is she even here?
Right.
She's not in it. She's not directing it. She's not paying for it. She's just here.
And to be honest...
For what reason?
To be honest, I hated that entire plot line.
The play?
Yes. The plot line of the play seemed just like something for the women to bicker about, and I do have another fundamental problem with the entire series of the problems they had with each other. A lot of them felt very minuscule. Like, oh, your son can't come to my daughter's birthday party, so I'm not bringing any of their friends. You know? Yeah. So it was just like, do y'all not have anything better to argue about? It just seemed like...
You really don't. Like, like as a mom.
Like, they were like, these $15 million mansions, just don't do it for me these days, you know?
It's not enough.
It was like their pride was just needed to be so... just have to touch things. Their pride was just couldn't be touched. You know.
Well, not when you don't want it to be when it comes to your kids.
Yeah, but it just seemed like there was so many different ways they could have either written it differently. I guess that's what moms, you know, is that what moms bicker about these days? Mm-hmm. The moms.
I can like. There's probably been a few times where I've been given an invitation to a kid's birthday party, and in my mind, or I've even said it out loud, like, she didn't come to Kyson's, I'm not going to her kid's party. So it's like,
I guess it is. I just as a, I don't want to say as a man, because maybe there's men that think about like this, but
dads don't care.
I mean,
men who are stepfathers, men who aren't dads, no, they don't care.
There was just
they do know.
There's just a couple.
The man caring about his daughter being assaulted is one thing. He didn't give a crap who was coming to that birthday party. He did not care who did or did not come to that party. Right.
And to be honest, I do think they were overreacting in a lot of scenarios. With the exception...
Laura Dern?
Yeah, Laura Dern was...
And Reese.
Yeah.
Those were the main two for me.
Was Reese her husband?
Huh?
Who's Reese? Oh, Reese.
I keep saying Reese Witherspoon.
Oh.
I keep calling them by their actual names.
Yeah, I hear the first name. I'm like, who? Wait, what? No. But, yeah, I thought some of the reasons to bicker were a little bit shallow and a little bit hollow, with the exception of Nicole Kidman's plotline. Mm-hmm. And maybe Reese Witherspoon's plotline with her husband. I thought they had pretty good reasons to, you know, maybe talk or not bicker, but to communicate and
they could have some better communication.
Yeah. But anyway, the side characters, they were, you know, pretty phenomenal, like Adam Scott,
He's good.
Zoe Kravitz.
I liked him.
You said you didn't like the Reese Witherspoon's ex-husband, but I didn't have a problem with him. I was expecting not to like him. I thought he was going to be the typical douche.
I didn't like him because, I guess what I should say is if I don't like him, I can't like her character either. I really liked her character. I liked the vulgar part of her character. But the overly bitter part I hated. Like, I hate that him and her both are still obviously...
Still like each other.
Yeah. Because if it's been 15 years, he's remarried, she's remarried.
They're both
He now has a kid with this other woman.
Yeah. It's
you shouldn't still be trying to one-up each other after 15 years.
I know. I know people that get along better than that. And I just feel like they should be able to get over it by that point. Yeah. I don't know. But then again, I'm not in that scenario, so I'm not going to say you should, they should, whoever should. But everyone has, their own opinion to it. But anyways, let's see what else. The children. Let's talk about the children. The children actors. I
really thought Chloe was going to be the one choking that little girl out. Emma Bella.
Oh, her attitude.
I thought she was going to be the one choking out Emma Bella because of how her mom talked about Laura Dern.
That would have been an interesting twist. I'm glad with the answer that we got there, because to me it made sense.
Yeah.
Logical sense, like I hated the entire time that what was the boy's name?
Ziggy.
Oh yeah. I hated that Ziggy was being accused of bullying and being abusive strictly because his biological father was a psychopath.
Yeah. That's not what it was in the first place, though. It was just a little girl pointing her finger. Mm-hmm. And no one at that point knew why. Publicly,
by the way, which was terribly executed and handled. That was another weak point for me of the...
That was very ignorant. It was just a very ignorant thing for someone to do, even in a movie. Or a show.
It just seemed like
very impractical.
Yeah, I was like, you don't think you could have... I remember being in school, every teacher has photographs of every student with the name or something like that on it, and they could have shown the little girl, Laura Dern's girl, who choked you on here.
Well, like his mom did... in whatever episode that was, she pulled up the class picture and was like, who's doing it?
Exactly.
Yeah, we could have done that.
I mean, given that class picture probably wasn't taken on the first day.
No, but that teacher legit was just like, okay, everyone, get in a huddle.
Everyone, we have to single out.
All the kids and all of their parents and all of the nannies.
Yeah, and
get
people,
in the circle.
And people behind to spectate to make it slightly more dramatic.
Yeah.
That teacher needs to be fired.
Yeah, she did.
And principal, just a dumbass.
He was a dumbass.
I
don't remember much of him, though. I know he was in the interviews with the police, but I don't remember much of him outside of that.
Okay. So, the guy with the beard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The glasses.
Yeah. I think he's a comedian. He's from Wolf of Wall Street and a couple other movies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He's pretty funny. But
I know some of the things that he said in the interview was pretty funny, like the way he says it.
Yeah, how did you like the way it was edited, spliced in throughout the entire series?
I liked it.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
You see, I felt in some scenarios that it was really effective, but in others it was a cop-out of using something really dramatic with Nicole Kidman happening, and then they would just cut to something funny they would say or something like that, or
I don't remember that. I don't remember it happening if it did.
Well, I was trying to pinpoint when they decided to say we need to have someone say something right here, because at some points, like a full episode would go by, nobody would be spliced in or clipped in and say something from the detective.
I think it's interesting to me that Nicole Kidman's character is the only one that everyone was kind of wrong about. Because everyone who was doing the interview, they knew that Reese Witherspoon was like this crazy, obsessive mom.
Mm-hmm.
Laura Dern is this, like, powerful, successful mom.
Right.
Like, they kind of could tell you about those two people.
Right.
And then they all thought that, what was her name? Was her name Jane? What is her? You keep saying her name, and I can't tell you her name.
Cheyenne.
Somehow, even though she had just got there and was only there for however many days, like, they were like, she's crazy. She's crazy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Do you remember one of them saying something about her being insane or something?
Like, it was within the first 3 episodes, I believe, right?
Yeah. And they're all, like, technically they're all correct about those 3 women.
Mm-hmm.
And then all they keep saying about Kidman is how great her sex life must be. And how she's older than him.
Right.
But they don't not once talk about, well, maybe she's...
Yeah.
Maybe he's abusive. Like, it never comes up.
I think it's because it's supposed to be a sleight of hand.
She's like the only one. I think that's why it wasn't... For me, I didn't think about her kid being abusive. Although the dad was abusive.
Yeah.
I kept linking him to Ziggy. I didn't...
I was too. I think they just kept...
thought...
They kept naturally showing... They even showed a part where Ziggy was behind his mom, like, choking her. Like, just a split-second clip.
No, that wasn't his mom. That was a little girl. That was his mom imagining it.
Was it? I thought it
There
was...
was... The 2 times he was standing behind her, he was sleepwalking.
I think there was one time he got spliced in and it showed him choking her. And it was a little weird. I don't... And I thought that was like, okay, so they're just going full throttle saying that Skarsgård's kid was choking little girls at school.
Yeah. Turns out it was his kid choking little girls at school.
Yeah.
It's the wrong mother.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the final execution of Skarsgård.
I'm not happy with it.
Not happy? Zoe Kravitz taking him out?
Yep. Yeah, I feel like it wasn't her place for her and her little miss Kumbaya self.
Right.
Should have just stayed over where she was. Maybe not stayed away, but because she did kind of see where he was grabbing on Kidman and Kidman running away and then him following her. So I could see why someone would say, let me go see what's happening. But where in the hell did that anger come from for her to push him down a flight of stairs?
Yeah. My problem comes from Shailene Woodley looking at Nicole Kidman and Kidman looking at Reese, and then all of them having like an epiphany, I guess. I don't know if I believed it.
What? Didn't believe what?
Well, not some. I wasn't crazy about Zoe Kravitz throwing him off the stairs right then, but I don't know if I even believe Shailene Woodley looking at Nicole Kidman and saying, "Holy, you know." She got all of that.
Nothing was ever said. The facial expressions kind of...
See, did that work for you?
It did, yeah.
See, it didn't work for me.
Just that moment, though. Just in that moment of her looking at him, and like you can tell in her face where she's like, holy shit.
I wanted like his hair to get knocked around or something like that. Like the Elvis wig to come off. Like, she immediately knew who he was like that, and... I just wanted her to say something.
She said something earlier in the show about
his smell.
His smell, his voice.
Well,
she said if I could hear his voice, I could definitely tell you whether it was him or not. And so he comes up and he's like talking to Kidman, trying to get her to go.
But also, she wasn't even sure about the first guy that she went to go see, at Saxton. Something. She was like,
she walked over and smelled him.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. If she can't tell just by the way the guy looks, she could already tell the way the guy. I guess she could immediately tell him, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it because she didn't know if it was the first guy. I can't believe that she would know it was the second guy.
I felt it. I thought it like, what is it? It convinced me.
It convinced you?
Yeah.
It was probable.
Mm-hmm.
Probable cause.
Yeah.
You see, I think that was strictly probable cause, and I'm still not even sure what went through his throat.
No, something was protruding out of his throat.
I thought a heel went through it or something like that. I was like, dang.
She really had to be angry, though, to push him down those steps. Because it's one thing to just, like, kind of push him off to the side or off of a woman.
Yeah.
Or to, like, even try to, like, kick him in the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Those are, like, the 2 things that I would expect a woman to do. a kick to the balls or just to push him away. She pushed him down the steps.
He already had a broken urethra.
Yeah. Who gives a shit now?
You broke it in it. You broke it in it. He deserved.
Do you remember what I said? Why she did that? She did that that was not a fucking accident.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm glad she did that.
She did that because
so he wouldn't do anything.
No, because he wanted her to get pregnant again. The sex she enjoyed, dude. I don't care at this point, even though he's dead and all this, I don't care what's going on. She was thoroughly enjoying those sessions. I don't care what anyone says. She might not have liked getting her ass whooped after a certain point.
Yeah, but I think they were starting to get entangled and she couldn't tell him to stop.
When she realized he wanted to have another baby and that was going to be his way, and he didn't start saying that until she started going back to work, right?
Around that time. But I don't even think it was about the baby because he already had kids. I don't think that would have changed anything.
She realized he was going to try to get her pregnant.
I don't think that would have changed anything.
What, her getting pregnant?
Because she already had his kids,
no,
right?
That's those moms see being pregnant and having an infant as why you should stay at home.
Oh, so just
now that her kids are older and in school,
stay and have a baby.
Yeah.
With it. Oh, okay. That makes a little bit more sense to me. Just in regards,
she can't go fucking study or practice law with an infant, newborn baby.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about now.
That was his way of trying to keep her from doing that.
I just didn't even think about it like that. I understand what you're saying. So, in correlation with his death, the detectives and everything. What do you think about that? We only saw the detective.
I don't like this lady detective.
You don't? I mean, we've barely even heard anything from. All we've seen is like a montage of her watching and listening from all of the witnesses over the course of the 7 episodes.
I want to know why she is so. I have a sense that she hates all of these women.
Why?
I don't know.
Maybe because she's the only...
She said something at one point about all of them standing around talking whenever she was watching them on the beach or something, right? Didn't she say something? I thought she did. She may not have.
She did. You remember you were asking why she was like, why are all... When it showed all the women after Skarsgård was killed, it shows all of them talking and you can't hear anything they're saying because it doesn't matter what they're saying because they're all bullshitting.
Yeah.
So that's why she was like, these ladies are, bullshitting
they're all
me.
liars.
Yeah, they're all liars and I'm going to...
I want to know why she feels that way.
That's season 2, babe. God. That's season 2. Yeah, you gotta look for the keys. They're trying to plant the seeds and...
Well, just for me and my, going ahead before I see season 2, I don't like her. I don't like her character. She's a bitch.
What did she do? She's doing her job.
I know. I get that part.
And she's bringing a little bit more color to this cast, which
I feel
they kept
like
saying.
Either she has a child who can't get into that school, she's a mom and she can't get into the group of other moms because no one likes her because she's a bitch detective, or she was fucking what's-her-face's husband who is now dead.
The detective?
Yeah. Those are just my little accusations.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to have some dirt or something. Because I think that she's...
I need a reason not to like her.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like her.
You see, I personally want to like her and her have a clean background. Because, she brings some diversity into this. And I don't want her to get skirted off,
She can't have a clean background.
Not completely clean. But all we have right now is Zoe Kravitz. And literally they talk about... how progressive this show is, and I have to just say, it's...
You disagree?
It might be progressive, and with... I didn't see any... They said there's a gay... Is there a gay... There's a gay character in it. Yes. Well, he says he's...
They thought Reese Witherspoon's character played it off like the coffee guy was gay, but he's not.
Tom.
He's not gay.
I thought he was gay, and that's why he...
I did not see that at all.
Well, that's the point, is saying he's gay is one thing, but they didn't ever show him with another man, or I can't think of any two females together or anything like that. There was no males, no females, no trans, what's it called?
Just
trans individuals, that, and they continuously say how progressive they are, yet the only person of color that I can think of off the top of my head was Zoe Kravitz and her daughter, and the detective.
There was the detective lady, but then there was that black guy that was in the interviews and that also played Elvis at the end. He was in a lot of the interviews.
He was funny.
And he had a lot of information
just
about people.
give me one or two more. I just saw several opportunities why to have just anybody, an Asian guy, a black guy, a Hispanic guy, anyone, because every time I looked on the screen, they were like, empowerment, progressive, and
who is the guy that she cheated on Ed with? Who is he on here?
The
play guy.
The play guy? Do you remember his name? Did you like him? Did you like the play guy?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm. That was him.
That's him.
He's not white.
He's not? No, he is Venezuelan. Okay, so the play guy is Venezuelan, so yeah, he was decent. I didn't think he had much to do besides be recent.
I didn't like his character. I didn't like that whole frantic, let's leave our lives and be together. I didn't like that. Like, it's not your hookup one time a year ago. It's not that serious.
Right.
And he has a wife and he's into this play. He doesn't seem like the kind of character who would be obsessive like that. Like, but then I didn't like the way he played off the whole obsessive thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily all of his fault. I think the writing was a little bit sloppy for him.
Yeah.
So, what can you do about it? What could he do?
Mm-hmm.
Hire a better writer. I don't know. But
I thought he was going to be out. I thought that truck was going to kill him.
Yeah, and I kind of... Yeah, that truck was...
I wonder why they didn't write him out.
It was...
Ed has to find out, right?
More... It's more dramatic to keep him alive.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, having that wife constantly stare her down.
Mm-hmm.
She, obviously knows it's her.
Yeah.
And she played it off really
or
bad.
She could be an obsessive wife.
I don't know. That wife is... The play guy is right.
She has
wife
every
is crazy.
She has every reason to think it is her, but
yeah. She knows when he's lying straight off the bat. He's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, so I know when he's lying. She said it twice.
Yeah, she's like, now I know when you're lying. But, anyways.
That scene showed me that Reese's character is a fucking liar.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, the whole, what she told her daughter, I didn't want it to ruin my marriage or split apart my children or whatever.
Right.
But you still did it. So won't you own up to it?
Yeah.
Because the longer it's carried out, the worse all of that actually is when it blows up.
Right. I feel so bad for Adam Scott.
Yeah. I do like that he stands up for his wife. He does stand up for her, though. When it comes to her ex-husband, he is just like, hey, dude, I know she's crazy, but she's crazy because of you, and now she's my wife, and I'm trying to make it better.
Right. I like that. They make a good television couple. They
Reese
felt,
and Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they were a believable family.
Yeah.
It all felt very everything felt really grounded to me.
He stands up to her too when he needs to, because that one scene where they're out on the beach and he's like,
yeah, and he needed some.
I'm effing sick of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he was sick of, but he was sick of it.
Yeah, he was sick of it. Yeah, sick of shit. But it
was fun. It was a good scene. I liked it. I like that he stands up to his wife. He stands up to her ex-husband, but then he also takes up for her when it comes to her ex-husband.
Yeah, and he seems like
want to be civil,
and he's a good stepfather.
Yeah.
Is that his real daughter?
I don't think so.
The younger one.
I couldn't tell you who his kids are.
Okay, yeah, it was. I felt very lost in the woods on how long they had been married and who the kids were belonging to.
Both of those children are her ex-husbands.
Oh, okay. Did she? Okay, so okay.
That's why she's so bitter with his new wife, because he was young. They both were young when they had, is it Abigail, their oldest?
Right.
And then Chloe is their youngest. He wasn't around
Right.
for those children.
Okay.
Because they had them really young.
That made sense.
And so now it pisses me off every time she's like, oh, he's going to yoga classes now. Oh, he's doing this
He's
for you
trying,
now. And
yeah.
it's like, shut up.
Yeah, it's...
Get the hell over it, man. Yeah, he is.
She is bitter.
Because he should be.
She is bitter. She is so bitter.
Who cares that he didn't do it then? As long as he's doing it now, be fucking happy.
I know, and he's not being a terrible father. Especially, it's not like he was encouraging that terrible thing their teenage daughter was trying to do. That was insane.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how that works.
It's so redundant.
What do you mean you auction it off?
It's so redundant. It doesn't even make sense. She's like, I'm selling my stuff off.
The dude, the mother, the stepmom, being like, it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. I'm like, can somebody punch this bitch in the mouth? And be like, that was for a good cause, bitch.
Oh my god.
My kid is a good enough cause for me to punch you in your mouth.
Yeah, I was like, Zoe Kravitz, come on. Where's your head on this one?
Yeah.
Where's your head on this one? But anyways, how excited are you for the second season?
I'm really excited. How long until it comes out?
Well, I believe it's going to be at least a year.
God almighty, Danny.
Now, I couldn't tell you when the first episode aired without looking it up right off the top of my head. Okay, so the first Big Little Lies came out on February 19th, 2017, and it is currently January 18th, 2018. So maybe we have a month or two until. I'm not 100% sure because I have to look when the season 2 comes out. I believe it is scheduled for the 2018. So that's going to be something to look forward to this year. I know HBO is trying to fill up their slate because.
I wonder how many seasons there will be of this.
Well, I know HBO is trying. I think this was originally going to be a miniseries, and it hit so well, got all these awards and everything like that. They were like, we got to have a season 2 because they're about to lose Game of Thrones, and that is I think Game of Thrones pulls in around 15 million viewers per episode, which is pretty damn good. And so once they lose it, it's going to drop right off. Yeah. People are going to be like, why should we keep our HBO content coming through? Yeah, because there's a big demographic of people that want to see Game of Thrones continue. Yeah. So they're actually planning. I think they have up to 5 or maybe even 5 to 10 different plot writers and production staff companies focusing on making several different shows, and once the HBO panel looks at each different show, they're going to pick a few, I believe, and make spin-offs for Game of Thrones.
Gotcha.
And I believe these spin-offs are going to happen before the time of what they're showing right now. That's what they did for Star Wars. They made the regular timeline, and they went back and recreated the history.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they'll probably keep Big Little Lies.
Just 2 seasons.
No, I think they're gonna keep it pumping through. You see, Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman and Laura Dern. These are movie stars that are expensive to have.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be surprised to see one or two of them leave.
Who do you think?
I think Witherspoon is a stay.
I think Kidman is a stay.
I actually know Witherspoon is a stay.
Yeah.
And so,
I feel like Kidman is because of her children.
She was fantastic. I would love to see more of Nicole Kidman.
I feel like if anyone's gonna be out, it's gonna be you say her name's Cheyenne?
Cheyenne Woodley.
I think she's going to be out. I think she's going to take Ziggy and move back. Now that she knows who his dad is, now that his dad's dead, what reason would she... Never mind. He's got 2 half-brothers.
Yeah, and...
Shit.
I still think that the reason they're keeping this detective around is because they kind of wanted there to be a season 2.
Yeah.
I don't think... First season was based off a book, and I am not 100% sure how accurate it was to the book, but if it didn't have the detective story, it's pretty smart for HBO to keep that detective in there in each episode to hook you for the next season.
Oh, okay.
So that it just felt like it was left open for another season. It just had to, Yeah. But it wouldn't be unheard of for HBO to produce a mini series and call it one season because it's.
So do you think Laura Dern will be gone?
She's a good character to write out. Yeah. She was.
But how though? Because I mean.
I'm sure they could say the kids are in a different.
To meet her husband.
Or in a different school. I just think she's an expensive character to have, and I'm not sure the reason to keep her in the cast.
Yeah.
So,
her daughter was being choked.
Her daughter was being choked by Nicole Kidman, so that's why you got to. I can't think of a good reason, and I just really hope that they keep the series down to a 7-episode series.
I could have really done 8 last night.
Yeah, I thinking about
just the initial. I wish they would have done. I wish they would have took all of those interviews, and I wish we could have watched. The last episode could have been the interviews.
The last episode could have been the interviews of the...
all the people that were questioning who were at the party.
Oh. That would have been interesting to see them all at once.
Yeah.
But they're...
Kind of get to listen to each... Not all, but each interview. Like at least the people they were showing. Or people who they didn't show then, but then waited and showed them on the last episode. Their interviews.
Right.
Questioning them and... asking them what they know about the women who were down there when he was pushed.
Right. It'd be an interesting concept.
I'm confused as to how at the end of that episode all of them are on the beach sitting like they're just in disbelief but also relief that he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The woman who pushed him did not know him. Reese, who she thought he was not. Like, I'm just... How are they not all, just sitting around trying to figure out why that happened?
I'm sure that there was an off-screen conversation about that. And that if there's a season 2 featuring all of them...
Because as of right now, they're all suspects.
Right.
They're all suspects in the death of that man.
Right. Which, I don't even know how they're walking right now. I would like to know what their lies were, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean...
That's what I'm saying. I kind of don't like that it ended with all of them on the beach, hugging and...
Yeah, it just seemed a little cop-out, a little easy. Mm-hmm. Just like...
Because they're playing with their kids like nothing happened.
Oh, they all had a really good lie.
Life is going to move on and be better now.
I would have...
It's like, you're like a suspect in a murder.
Yeah. There was a little bit of weird editing, if I remember correctly, when he originally goes for her. Like, Skarsgård goes down there and he's like, Nicole, or whatever her name, come with me. And then they all do the look, and then he charges after her, and then it fades away.
He looks at...
Yeah, he looks at Cheyenne, and then they all kind of do the triple point look. They all look at each other, and then he lunges after them, but then the camera cuts away to, after it happening or something like that, and I almost want to rewatch that, how they were all roughed up.
We
and
should
then
watch the end.
Yeah, we'll probably do another rewatch on the end just to see exactly how it went down and how it was edited, because I kind of remember he was beating Nicole Kidman and then they were trying to pull him off, but it was edited weird.
It cut to what's-her-face walking towards them.
Yeah, it was weird.
It had to, it just kind of showed where she was coming in from.
It was some interesting editing. I think they just had to do it because I don't really know realistically if Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon, and Zoe Kravitz and Cheyenne Woodley and Laura Dern, I guess maybe all these women could take down Skarsgård, but That's a tall ass dude. Yeah.
Big motherfucker.
Yeah, if I was getting punched by him, I'm not sure if I
I
would
wish
be.
I could meet him in person.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
I'd probably squeal.
You squealed like 3
I
times.
Squeal like a pig.
3 times. Squealed like 3 times every time he was on screen.
Oh no.
Till he started swinging.
Yeah, I didn't like
It was crazy. But yeah, overall, it was a really great series and a fun snow day to to sit in and watch it.
We literally sat here from like 6 until 1 in the morning watching that.
We were like, whoa.
I think we only stopped. We stopped to go get cereal.
We had to get some cereal.
pee.
Yeah, we had to use the restroom, and that was about it. And it was
restroom and food.
Yeah, the essentials, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was definitely worth it, and I'm excited for season 2.
I thought you were gonna make me stop at one point. I thought you were gonna do the whole like, and like not want to finish and like roll over and go to bed.
Well, I might. The only thing I would have been worried about is waking up and seeing, spoilers. That's all.
Was that what kept you awake? Because you should have been asleep.
Yeah, I was about like 10 seconds from falling asleep, but we had an extra 50 minutes to just watch that last one. And the funny thing was, we didn't even know it was the last one.
No, we didn't.
We were like,
you had me thinking there was an 8th episode.
I did too. I thought there was a 10-episode series. I thought it was a standard 10, like most.
I was freaking excited.
HBOs.
I was like, nope, gotta watch this one, gotta watch it. And then as soon as it ended, I was like, gotta go to the next one.
Yeah.
And I couldn't.
That's what's got me ready for season 2. Oh, I'm kind of glad that we waited a few months to watch it, because now all we have to wait is like maybe a month or 2. I'm not really sure.
I don't want to watch it. I don't want to have to watch an episode on a Sunday and then not get to watch another episode until the next Sunday.
I'm definitely going to wait like the entire thing and binge it. It's just the way to do it.
Yeah,
it just feels like a long term or just a long movie, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But we did it. All 7 hours. Big Little Lies. The LuckyDog podcast. Yeah. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Please.
Oh, you mean
not you,
them.
Not you, the viewers.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh,
I don't want to give my feeling towards it.
Yeah, I think that's what we did. That was all the entire podcast. That was all 50 minutes. So.
Did you always know you know more to say than I do.
Well,
I'm a simple. I liked it. Yeah, no, I didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good one. The Lucky Dog Podcast at gmail.com. Thank you and goodbye.
Mama, I'm depending on you. Tell me the truth.